In today's session, we are going to discuss the Mass Edit project feature found within the sourcing suite of products. The Mass Edit project feature is found within the sourcing suite of products. The feature is used to update legacy workspaces with new content. So for example, if you had commodity codes that were used prior and changes to the code structure occurred, you could go back in time to the legacy projects and update those commodity codes. Another example is if an owner of a specific project has left the company and you only want to change that one workspace or several workspaces. The system will offer features to make that change. They can also make changes to the team tab as well. So when you have different roles assigned, you can add, remove, or replace users within the team tab to existing team members. You cannot create new team members, but you can add existing team members. In order to use this feature, the group Project Mass Edit Administrator has to be assigned to your profile. The Project Mass Edit Administrator is a powerful group. We only recommend that this group is handed to administrators. Once this permission is assigned, users can navigate to Mass Edit Project by clicking Manage Administration, Project Manager, and then selecting Mass Edit Project. So right now I'm logged into Contract Workspace Procurement and I need to make updates to specific workspaces. Let's just say that this workspace has notebook computers. There might be several workspaces, 10, 20, 50, 100 workspaces with notebook computers, and I need to update it to a different commodity code. I can use Mass Edit Project to do that. So I can remove notebook computers and I can replace it with something else. The other thing, and this is just a different feature, on the team tab, the project team for category manager, I have listed as Brian Krieger. Let's say that he got promoted into a different position and I needed to replace him with a different person. I can actually do a replace of Brian Krieger and replace it with that different person. So I'm going to use Mass Edit Project to do this. To use Mass Edit Project, once again, from the home screen, you can do this by clicking Manage Administration. Click on Project Manager, and then select Mass Edit Projects. Now I knew the workspace ID. Let's just say I don't know the workspace ID. I just know that the owner is somebody and I know the commodity code. You'll notice that this screen is very similar to the search screen for projects. So, sourcing projects, contract workspaces, they all work pretty much the same. Under project type, you can switch the project type. So think of these as different documents. You have a contract request, contract workspace. They're both procurement, internal, sales. If I scroll down, I can switch to sourcing project, sourcing request. So there's a lot of capability here just on this screen. I'm going to run a quick search, and I'm going to search for a commodity code. We're going to search for notebook computers. Now I'm going to deliberately leave the owner blank because I want to show you a quick feature here. So I'm going to click search. You'll notice that it says that you have more than 100 search results. So I did not get all the search results. To ignore that filter, I would click Options, Ignore Max Search Results, and then hit Search again. I have 729 contracts, but as you know, I only have one contract I'm going to update in this example, but there could be hundreds of contracts that I'm updating through this feature. In this case, if I needed to update all 700, I can just click this box here and it does a select all of 729 contracts. There might be certain examples where I update maybe a couple of them. So I would click the ones that I want to update and hit add. I can also add a couple contracts, do another search, add an additional contract, and keep doing that if there's different criteria for certain contracts that I'm trying to update. To filter this 729 down, because I know that there's one specific workspace that I want to update, I can search by contract ID. In this case, I'm going to search by owner and see what I get. Well, just so happens that there's only one contract. With one contract, you don't really need to use Mass Edit. You can do amendments. This is just an example, but just think if there were 10, 20, 50 contracts that were similar that I need to update, this feature would work exactly the same. You would just be selecting more workspaces. So I'm going to select all. I'll hit add. It adds it to the update screen. I can see the running updates here. If I went through and performed additional searches, I can add those searches, and it would keep a running total of maybe 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 5,000, depending on how many projects you included. On the select field screen, this is where I can update any field on the create screen. So if I select fields to update, I can include commodity code, which we were just talking about. And I'm going to replace the existing notebook commodity code, and I'm going to do a search for that. So this is the commodity code that was selected originally. And I'm going to replace it with a new value. So I'm going to scroll to 43. I'm going to keep it generic. So I'm going to go from a very specific code to a generic code. I'm going to click next. The other example, if you remember, I said that there was a category manager that actually got promoted. So I wanted to update them. Now you can use mass edit projects. There's also a feature called mass edit user. There's a separate video for that, so check that video out if you want to do a find and replace all of that user in every single object. This is only going to perform the change in category manager, but the mass edit user will change every instance of that user in every project. I'm going to click select project groups to update, and I'm going to find category manager. Select category manager, and we're going to replace Brian Krieger, and we're going to add a new user. We'll say Drew, and put the full name in, Drew Myers. So new value is Drew Myers, old value Brian Krieger. Hit next. This is a summary screen. It's highlighting what workspaces you're updating and why. What are the different things that you're updating in each workspace. Once I hit update, it then kicks off the scheduler task. Now, this is something that could take a couple seconds. In my case, it's only going to take a couple seconds because I'm only updating one workspace. However, if it was a couple thousand workspaces, it could take a half hour, an hour. So in that case, you can exit and then perform some work, run and get some coffee, whatever, come back, and then look at the status again by clicking here, mass edit status. After you click on mass edit status, you'll see that there's different statuses for mass edit projects that have run in the past. You'll notice successful if it says 1 of 1 or 1 of how many you did. You'll notice down here that there's a failure on this one, 0 out of 1 projects completed. The failures are usually linked to something like master data is incomplete, it's not available, one time it was active, it's no longer active, the user's not there, the object that you asked to be replaced doesn't exist, stuff like that. But in my case, when I click View Details, I have the report of what actually occurred. Commodity code, the old value was replaced with a new value, and that was succeeded. Category manager Brian Krieger was removed and was replaced with Drew Myers. That succeeded. If it did not succeed, it would say no. I'm going to actually search and show you the successful changes that took place. So on the Overview tab, you'll notice now that the commodity code has been changed. It used to be notebooks. Now it's the generic information technology and broadcasts services. And on the Team tab, it used to be Brian Krieger, and now it is Drew Myers. That concludes the session for today. For more information on Mass Edit Project, you can click on the Help menu and select Help Center, and then search Mass Edit Project. From here, you can obtain different information on Mass Edit Project and other features within the sourcing suite of products.